Notts County Talk. Thank you to the club who, as we're about to go live, have just announced Stuart Maynard is our new head coach. Unbelievably, we had Russ from the Scarf Bagara War ready to come on, Stockport fan. Like, we're a little bit thrown out from this, as you can tell, but we had Russ from Scarf Bagara War, who was all ready and waiting to help us out. And he was literally ready to talk Stockport. We had a chat to him. I said, how do you feel about, before the video, how do you feel that we could have potentially have Stuart Maynard in as head coach? And he's here, he's in. So this episode has changed very much from talking about Stockport originally and the Grimsby game to now being sort of it's a reaction to Stuart Maynard joining as the head coach. We're potentially going to get lots of questions, lots of things. We were under very good authority from someone we talked to that it was going to be tomorrow. Otherwise, we would have prepped more. But George, Stuart Maynard, we've got a new head coach 12 days after we did a live video about, 13 days after we did a live video. You can see Will from the channel, very happy. Get in, Stuart Maynard's Black and White Army. George, what are your thoughts?
I'm a bit dazzled, Tom, to be honest with you. I've been rushing around like mad this evening, getting ready for this video, genuinely. Yeah. You'll know because I literally joined at like 30 seconds to 7:30, with just everything that's going on. And then I come in and then you're talking to Russ and you're saying, Russ, we'll get you on for, whatever next time. I'm sorry to do this. And I'm like, what are they talking about? And then I go on Twitter assuming that something's been announced, and then Stuart Maynard's joined Notts. What are my thoughts on it, though? I don't think it's too bad. I think it's a decent appointment. He fits the mold, doesn't he? Young manager, very promising, overachieving, I think, with Wealdstone. So yeah, I think it's good. I mean, he probably doesn't have as much behind him as sort of Birchnell and Williams did in terms of managing in the Football League and managing, at a professional level, let's say. But I back the owners, and I think they'll get it right. I can sort of see both sides of the coin. I can see why people will be concerned, but then you look at the history of our management under these owners. You kind of have to just have the faith, don't you?
Yeah, we do. Very different start to show, but I've got to say, as always, we are powered by Better Bats Computers, fantastic computer company. Use the code Pavis Perspective to get discount on computer refurbishment or indeed refurbished computers that you can purchase. Even to everyone that has joined us, we usually say hello to you all, but there is a lot of people joining as we are now. So I'm just gonna get this statement up for anyone that was in before it's happened and might be watching on their phone and can't sort of read it. Head coach Stuart Maynard, as you'll see there, has literally just come in from Notts County. We're excited to announce the appointment of Stuart Maynard as our new head coach, along with his assistant Matt Saunders and first team coach Craig Saunders. Maynard joined us from Wealdstone, where he's established himself as one of the most exciting managers outside of the EFL. Having helped the Stones to win the 2019-20 National League South title as assistant to Dean Brennan, Maynard took the hot seat in 21 and guided his team adeptly despite immense challenges presenting the COVID pandemic. We've got to say, George, on the face of it, whether you're happy or not, what no Notts fan can deny is that he has achieved very well with a team with limited resources.
Yeah, 100%. That's sort of what I was saying. He's overachieved really for the team that he has. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do when he has, I wouldn't say the best resource in the league because we know it's not, but a good team. We've got some really good players. Yeah. So maybe one or two additions, we'll see. But we'll see if he can, short that defence a little bit.
100%. The following season, Maynard led Wealdstone to their highest league position in 35 years for helping them continue to exceed expectations with an improved 13th place finish in 22-23. The statement from our board of directors reads, and this is where it gets interesting, we've been tracking Stuart's progress for a long time and have huge respect for the outstanding job he's done at Wealdstone on limited resources. We believe he will thrive in a full-time environment and has an excellent fit for us in terms of his playing philosophy, which puts him in a strong position to settle in quickly and lead our continued push for promotion to League One. Alongside Matt and Craig, he's formed a formidable and dedicated coaching team who who will integrate seamlessly into our existing setup as we look to build on the foundations we've laid during our adaptation to life back in the EFL. With Stuart in place, we are also now in a stronger position to help the squad with additions before the end of the transfer window. That is very, very good reading. And it's something we spoke about 100%. It's going to be better. And then it goes on to thank Jim, Tom Wheel, João Alves, following Luke's departure. We are very grateful to Wilson for their professional and dignified handling of Stuart's departure. We wish them all the best for their season. Stuart will take charge of first training session on Friday and will lead the team in Saturday's Sky Bet League 2 fixture against Stockport County. There you go. New manager bounce. Get it going. That's what I say.
You know what's funny about that? I went on the the Stockport County podcast. The guys that was coming on tonight, Russ, his podcast. When we played them at their place, and I was sort of saying, I don't really listen to the speculation about Williams. He's always linked to other jobs, and he's gone to Swansea. I was on there last night, joined them again for obviously the reverse fixture. And I says, I can't really see as a point in a coach by the game on Saturday, and I've got that wrong as well. So,
yeah.
Fair to say, I won't be doing the lottery anytime soon.
No. We had a little message today when we sort of found out it was going to be him. You said not today. I said, I've got a feeling it could be today. And I'll be honest, when we started this video, I thought, no, it's probably too late now. And 7:30 comes, and we've got a new manager. And as you say, we all have Russ on from Scarf Bagara War Stockport podcast, and apologies. We've just had to get him. He's not been able to stick around, and we wouldn't ask him to either. So the sort of excitement of that happening as the videos sort of kicked off is there, but we've got to look at it now as it's an appointment, George, that has split fans pretty much. We posted earlier today, and I'd say there's sort of a 70-30 split of fans that are happy. If we look here, look, very good news there. And in the next one, underwhelmed, but hope I'm wrong, concerned over lack of league experience. And let's be honest, you can be optimistic, but what Malcolm's saying is true there. There is a factor.
But we're all, I think, majority, without offending everybody at the club, I don't think we make overwhelming signings. You could probably make an argument for McGoldrick, but when was the last time we signed someone sort of out of the blue that was like ground-breakingly good, player or anything? Do you know what I mean? When Birchall came in, underwhelming.
Right.
When Williams came in, he's had a relegation on his CV.
Yeah, it's been Macca, wouldn't it? But I know what you mean.
He's done it in the league below, so it wasn't like we were bringing in. Yeah, 100%, and he's proven his point.
Well, it's Didsy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, with the most respect, he's coming towards the end of his career, so it's not as groundbreaking as what it could have been, But
yeah. Start with the positives then. From my perspective, I've already said it, and it's been alluded to by Notts in the press release that he's done a fantastic job with limited resources. Absolutely brilliant job with limited resources. And you could say, well, this is what he's had to manage. These are the level of players he's had to manage. This is the size of club he's had to manage, part-time. And Notts even said, we think he'll step into full-time really well. But the other side of the coin is, imagine how good he's been with those resources.
Yeah.
What could he, and then what's the potential with more resources?
That's my thinking. That is my thinking.
And it doesn't always work like that. I think, who am I thinking of? I'm thinking Rob Edwards was at Forest Green and then at Luton. I think he's a manager that does better with under pressure with an underdog side. Okay? And you never know. That could be Maynard, right? But imagine if what he's done with that squad transfers. All of a sudden, he's got Macaulay Langstaff. He's got Didsy. He's got Dan Crowley. We don't know what he could do with the defence. I mean, we spoke on our spaces on Sunday morning about Luke Garrard at Boreham Wood. Was he ever in contention? Have no idea. And that would have been a defensive coach. But whether he's a defensive coach or not, we're going to have new eyes on the defence, aren't we? We're going to have a new fresh pair of eyes in the defence. And not just him, we're going to have his coaching staff that are coming with him. That's my sort of positive. And I have got some reservations as well, but we'll stick with the positives for now. What do you reckon, George? What's your What are your initial positives from this?
Yeah, I think I agree with you pretty much. You know, it doesn't happen too often, but when it does, you got to take it, haven't you? Yeah, no, you know, in terms of what you're saying about if you can do what he's done with a part-time squad, that was my sort of thinking. But I also get that, you know, like you say, the other side of the coin of a manager being better with the backs against the wall. But I don't think. I just think the way that things are set up here is a little bit different. It's not like I know. I don't know. Maybe I have a bigger vision of Notts County because I'm a Notts County fan. But obviously, Notts are a big club. But our budget isn't. You know, it gets repeated a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's 10th in the league, so it's not like we're. I'm not saying we're an underdog because we're not an underdog. I think it'd be silly to say that we were. But I don't really see us as being, you know, big spenders. So we're sort of in that middle ground, I think. And this season is a time to sort of consolidate and do well. But I think if we was to get to gain promotion or get in the playoffs this season, it'd be an overachievement.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it. I do like it. I like you. I have my reservations, but my reservations are sort of put to bed with, you know, the history and obviously Luke Williams, Bertrand, like I've just said. But at the same time as that, did they get them right every time?
No, it's like Williams said, isn't it? It's good to work on percentages, and if we're looking at percentages, they get way more right than they get wrong. So
yeah.
I am very optimistic. James said here, transfer market has its preferred formation as 4-1-4-1. Now, transfer market, and I'm sure James knows the same. So it's not always reliable, especially as you go down the levels. But if we could go 4 at the back, hey, I'm all for it. Is he going to go 4 at the back after one training session? I very, very much doubt it. He'll probably be stood on the touchline. I mean, he might go for it.
4-1, did you say?
4-1-4-1, yeah. But
it's not too dissimilar to 5-3-2, though, is it? 3-5-2. If you look at the position.
Yeah, not really, I suppose. But yeah, not really. But there's so many good points being made in this chat. There's so many good points. The fact Charlie's put in here that look at Mike Williamson, not much experience or no experience in Football League before Milton Keynes Dons. Oh, I don't know, I've said the full name. I'm just excited. MK Dons. But it's taking them to the next level. They are playing really, really well. Another one here. Let's find the comment. Chris, Etherington, Wood, Garner, Flynn, and more. All managers who have had pedigree based on reputation have failed in League Two. Trust the owners. Look, for me now, I just think I'm excited again. I'm really excited. And I wasn't excited. I'm not saying I wasn't excited under Williams, but it was repetitive is the word.
Yeah, but that's what it's going to be like. And this is football, you know. I was thinking to myself earlier, like, it's so nice having a sustainable club, and I'm not saying, you know, but it sort of brings back a little bit of entertainment value, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Like, and you know, there's clubs now that are having this much going on at their club, but they're in a bad situation. We're having this much going on at our club after a win at Wembley in May, and like, we're not in a bad position, let's be honest. I think, and people are saying, oh, we may have been scraping the barrel and things like that. But how many managers do you think will have put themselves in the running for this? With Macaulay Langstaff, Didsey, the history that we've got under these owners of constant progression. Let me tell you, there would have been a lot more managers than was on that list. There'd have been some.
I'd love to have the insight into stuff like that, you know. Like, just to see how they operate, you know, in terms of the market. Yeah. Are they always in constant contact with people that they potentially think they would like to replace? Do they listen to people that sort of want the job and hand in their CVs?
It's really interesting, isn't it?
Sort of stuff operates. Yeah. I'd love to.
Maybe me and you should become football agents.
Yeah.
You never know. A lot of people mentioning Pete Ward at Barrow as well. They are flying, and we went to Barrow away earlier in the season, or even saw the highlights. You know, we were definitely second best against them. I'm trying to read through a lot of your comments, but there's an awful lot. Hermes says lack of coaching experience at high level is a concern, but remain open-minded. Yeah, I think that's a fair concern. I mean, nobody can say, like, no one can have a go at you for having that concern. I think it's true, but I think Luke Williams came in with not necessarily the best pedigree. I mean, the only thing we could go off, two things we could go off, is that he'd failed at Swindon and he'd been assistant manager to a very good manager in Russ Martin. What have we got to go off here? Well, we've not really got anything negative to go off with Stuart Maynard, have we? Other than he's not coached higher. And for a manager at the start of their career, you're not going to go straight in at sort of Man City level, are you? You've got to start somewhere. And our owners, I don't think they would have settled. They wouldn't have settled. I think they don't care about the noise fans make. If Stuart Maynard wasn't the right person, we wouldn't have a manager now. I definitely think that. I think they would have gone with Jim again, personally. Thinking, George, before we talk back about Stuart Maynard, Jim now, Tom Wheel, João Alves, assuming they're still there, drop back, Jim straight back in as a player coach maybe. Tom Wheel's got to stay.
Yeah, I think it will just be everything will resume.
Yeah.
You know, we've lost 3 coaching staff to Swansea. Now we've just gained 3 coaching staff, which will fill the void that was left by those 3 that left. So, yeah, I mean, go back to the way they were, other than the individuals are just different now.
Yeah, I agree. You might have seen earlier it would have been last week when we got this. We got a little bit of a reaction to the sign of Ashby Hammond by Jordan on the channel. We have a few more of us working on the channel. So as well as this video, you this evening, hopefully going to get a couple more reactions from new channel regulars as well. And they'll give their thoughts just to broaden it rather than just us two. But Daniel, when you look at Luton story, the manager who took them up from the National League left, then Nathan Jones came and took them into Championship. Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world we've lost Luke Williams. João has been promoted to first team coach. Oh, fantastic. I haven't read through necessarily everything so far. Do you think part of bringing in Stuart was assurances that big stars would not be transferred during the window?
I'm not sure.
I don't think for a manager that's moving up, they'll be able to give that assurances. I think if we got a manager that had come down for a project, then yes. But we have to talk about it because there's plenty of people that are happy, but there's also some people that are a little bit concerned. What concerns do you have? Because this is it's as well as calculated as the owners are, there is a slight risk with it. What do you think?
Well, there's risk with every move that any club makes. The obvious concern for me is what I've already said. Like he's not done it in the AFL, and he's not got that experience, which might take him a little bit more time to get used to. But you know, it's a new challenge. Another one is sort of fan relationships. Will he be able to build a good relationship with a big fan base?
Yeah,
which Notts have.
They seem to be gutted.
Keeping them on side as well. Keeping them on side. I think that's very, very important, and you can't underestimate what can be done if it goes one way or the other. So
I think we've got a good group of players, though. A very good group of players.
Yeah. I was thinking that because I think it'd be easy for maybe a player to throw their dummy out the pram a little bit and think, I'm being managed by a player, then I'm being managed by someone that's come from the league below. But we don't seem to have any of that, which has been reassured in the videos that obviously Cameron and Jim put out, yesterday and the day before. So yeah.
What concerns do I have? I don't really have many because a lot of people are saying here, Charlie Slater put that out, it's a 3.5-year deal. There's more, like just to add to the side of fans that are feeling optimistic. Warnock was a chiropodist at Scarborough, and look what he went on to do. Absolute legend at the club now. And I want to have a quick talk about Neil Warnock in a minute. There's a lot more comments in here. Kyle, this is something I didn't think about. Maynard will thrive in this setup. He will love the data at his disposal. Very, very true. He's gone from having such limited resources, and let's be honest, we went there and won 6-1, right? And battered them. And he came out and he was gracious and he was saying how good we were. I've just been sent this. Wealdstone have conceded the third least goals in the league this year. Wealdstone, third least. There you go.
Conceded third most, don't we?
Yeah, my excitement level has gone from here to here. Third least goals, Wealdstone.
What's that then? What's there today? Is that 10%?
48% more.
That's beautiful.
It is. I'm just looking at looking at the standings. Where are Wealdstone? It's at 13th in the league. 36 goals they've conceded. We've conceded 142 this season. Like, he's going to be looking at defence thinking he can fix that. They've conceded 2 more than Chesterfield. Less than Barnet, who are in 3rd. Less than Solihull, who are in 4th. Less than Altrincham in 5th. Less than Oldham in 6th. Less than Rochdale in 7th. That could go on. I mean, that does bode really, really well. That's what Notts need. Reinforcements on defensive front, says one comment. Only concern, what would you think about this one then, George? Only concern is going from managing part-time to full-time professionals must be a big difference. I think that's more talking about the players rather than...
that's a good point.
Than actually his job. What do you think?
Surely there's been a few that have passed through at Woodstone now, full-time players. Because I know they obviously have loan players from full-time clubs.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that he's worked with full-time players before.
Listening to his interview, he defo sounds like he could sort us out defensively. If there is an interview out...
don't watch it till after this.
Yeah, but also that's something we've not had the luxury of watching. So
yeah, it's not out yet.
It's not
on YouTube anyway. Yeah,
fair enough. It might be on Twitter. I'm not sure. I wonder if we'll bring anyone from Wealdstone with him. Am I right in saying there's someone at the AFCON that's pretty good? Wealdstone player. Am I thinking that wrong? Is that a different side? I thought played for Tanzania, if I'm thinking right. Stuart Maynard's Black and White Army don't understand anyone who can doubt this appointment because there's nobody knew anything about Ian Bertram before we got him, and he helped us improve. And Luke Williams after. Exciting to see newcomings. He had an interview, didn't he, with Tom Williams a while back? Yeah. Josh Amira could come. I don't know, but it is just an exciting time. I think that you look, it's not that far off 24 hours before a game, is it? Well, it's sort of like 36 hours before a game. Stockport, big game, exciting. Top of the league coming, and we've got a manager in place. Do you think there was? Did you gather anything yesterday when Jim's presser came out early? It was a day early.
No, because they do that now and again. They do bang them out on Wednesdays now and again.
They do. But I just thought, and then all of a sudden the odds shot from 7-4 to 4-1 on, didn't they? Within a space of like 3 hours. And people say don't worry about things like that, odds, because it's just people putting money on. But people have to, when the odds go that short, I feel like quite a lot of money had gone on. And then I don't know about you, when you see 1-6 on, and definitely 1-8, it's a done deal, don't you? You definitely know it's a done deal. My only other concern would be, and this is extreme, but I think you'll kind of get my reference. I feel like we have to be careful getting this right, because Luke Williams leaving, you might just say I'm talking absolute rubbish here, but it almost feels like if the appointment was wrong, it could be like an Alex Ferguson situation. Like Luke Williams in a year and a half made himself the club. The club was Luke Williams for that year and a half. Do you know what I mean? You lose someone that intense, and let's be honest, I'm not saying that's the right way to manage, but Stuart Maynard from interviews doesn't seem like he's the same. Maybe able to coach the same way, but isn't the same. Doesn't have the same personality. You're going for someone that's so intense every day, and this could be a positive. We could be a positive change, but does that concern you at all, or you just think, Tom, you're an idiot?
Well, I think that anyway, but I think the point. I know what you're saying. It's like a legacy thing, isn't it? But the difference is, Alex Ferguson was a manager, and he probably managed a lot of things at the club. Luke Williams was a head coach, and he just, was the head coach of the team. So, he, like you say, he's left his print for sure, and it did feel like Luke Williams' club. But there's things in place to make sure that doesn't happen, I think, at Notts.
Yeah, so, I agree.
Yeah.
That's also, I don't know, it's kind of the reason why Jim could just manage the game, and he just fit in. Do you know what I mean? Nothing changed when Jim came into the position. I think we are in a very, very strong position now. There are some clubs in this league that I think, without naming any names, there are clubs in this league that if their manager left would fall apart.
Yeah.
And if anyone's going to clip this to use it a little bit later, and play that again, if maybe not to fall out of the playoffs, joke's on you, because we've already fallen apart with Luke Williams. So you can't really use that. But no, I mean, it's a great opportunity for any manager. George, someone said, do you think he'd be bringing hand dryers along?
I hope so. That'd be good. He'd be right up there in my estimations if he did. I'm not asking for, groundbreaking stuff. I'm just asking for something to dry my hands. Even if they'd just put some tissue dispensers in there, I'd be happy with that.
I kind of wish we hadn't announced him. I wish we'd announced him on the new advertising boardings pre-kickoff.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? That would have been class.
I'd like to see how long that would have took to tag on. I was having this conversation at work about advertisements today. Do they really work?
It's not the topic though, is it? It's super Stuart Maynard. He's the topic now.
Yeah,
you were saying, you were saying how can he get himself with a much bigger fan base and popular. I've seen a lot of Wealdstone fans that are really, really genuinely gutted about it.
Yeah, I know, but with the most respect, and I don't want to come across patronising when I say this. Obviously, Wealdstone would have, they've got a decent fan base, but it wouldn't be like, they wouldn't be getting 10,000 on a regular basis at home, would they? So I think it's easier to build sort of closer connections with fans when you've got, because it's like familiar faces, isn't it? You're at a smaller stadium or at a smaller ground, much smaller ground. And you'll see those familiar faces, whereas it's not like that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm reading some of their things. They've put farewell Stuart Maynard has left. Stuart Maynard has left Stones to become head coach in Notts County. Thank you for everything. And I'm not just saying this and being one of those things. I think Wealdstone they're a good club. Like, they are a decent club. We've got one fan saying, sorry, can't like this post, gutted to have lost his talents. Our loss is Notts' gain. He will go on to great things with them. Thanks, Stuart Maynard and Matt Saunders, for everything. I wish you good luck, even though you don't need it. I mean, that's a glowing endorsement, isn't it? Lots of people saying thank you, that he was a fantastic manager. Best of luck. Thank you for your great time with us. I mean, I'm not finding anyone here that's even wishing him badly. Good luck, Stuart, in your new adventure. County's got himself a young manager. Give him a bit of time and he will take you up. Wow. Glowing reviews. If this was TripAdvisor, it'd be 5-star. Everyone would be reviewing that. So, it's definitely a positive in my opinion. Definitely. Because we look at some of the alternatives and I'm not sure who we'd have gone for. I don't think we're the kind of club looking on it to buy someone out of another league club. I mean, have we had to buy Stuart Maynard out of his contract at BT? Or Compo for them?
Someone put that earlier. Don't steal jokes. Come on.
No, I didn't see that. Earlier.
I think it was Fraser.
I would be honest. If I saw that, I would say it.
What do you reckon? The
BT Compo, $750,000, I think, for an engineer. What do you think?
I don't know.
No, I mean, if BT have any grace about them, they'd have just let him go.
What did he do then? What was his job?
I think he was an engineer,
like a site engineer.
I don't know. When someone said to me that he left his job,
he worked like on a production, like actual football games.
No, I don't know. I thought he was like a pundit for the National League games. That when someone said he'd left BT,
that's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy, but these things can work.
You know what though? That kind of adds some sauce for me, because if he does well, like, that's amazing that he was working at BT and then we're still are in the league below us, and we were in that league last season. So I'm not going to get but that is, you don't really think of things like that. That's crazy. That's just changed his life quite dramatically, hasn't it?
This might sound a stupid question, but the fact he's part-time, that means Wheelstone, the whole club is a part-time setup, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about getting a Wheelstone fan on the Pavis perspective for these views? I'd love to get a Wheelstone fan on. And that was the plan, because we thought it was happening tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
it's now the viewer's job to go and find us a Wheelstone fan.
If anyone can find us a Wheelstone fan that comes in this chat, and
if anyone gets the Wheelstone reader, I will personally buy you a hand dryer for your house.
I won't bring him in. Why? I won't bring him in. He'll get shirted.
He'll be fuming. He'll be fuming.
If anybody can find us a Wheelstone fan and ask them to DM us, we'll get them on ASAP. And that's a promise. So can you get on X or whatever you need to do? See if there's a Wheelstone fan channel. Try and find a Wheelstone fan. There might be one in this chat now. And if so, thank you for your manager.
Tom.
Only manager who can fix the Wi-Fi while watching the game. Unbelievable. It's true. It's true. Let's see what questions have we got. Somebody a while back, and the comments are flying in, so I couldn't actually reply to it, but said, do you think we're falling behind in the transfer market? Not now. I think this is early enough. Look at that. Our new boss, look.
I've just seen it.
Doesn't he look good at Meadow Lane?
Oh, what wallpaper that is. Get it as wallpaper, everyone.
Looks fantastic at Meadow Lane. He really, really does.
Come on.
Yeah, I think you go another week, we're really struggling. I think we now have the option to bring in some players from that league, possibly, that know him, or people that have worked under him. In other news, it looks like Deeney's been sacked at Forest Green. Thank goodness we got Maynard in there.
Has he? What?
I never knew that. I don't know. But yeah, anyone finds a Wheelstone fan yet? So I'm just very excited by this now. Like the game Saturday has an extra edge for me now.
I'm getting the feeling that you're a bit excited.
I'm excited. And if you go back to our spaces on Sunday, Will was very excited. Do you know looking at Stuart Maynard now? Tell me if I'm going mad. He looks like a combination of Neil Ardley and Ian Birchnell. Yeah, he does. He does, doesn't he? He does. Looks like a bit of a little child there. It's a bit mad, that, isn't it? Just looking at the picture there. Maybe we'll just get him to shave his head, and then we'll be sorted. I can't find this. Come on, people need to find us. Didn't Wheelstone offer their ground for a car park for the Wembley match? They did. Have you seen the video where we beat them 6-1 and he talks about Notts? And he says, I hope they go up because they're the best team. And he says something like, Wrexham dropped a couple of points. I hope they go up. That should be played on the advertising board, and should be played on the scoreboard, I think. Right. There's questions now going in about what we do with the team on Saturday. I don't know. I think he will change very little, personally. What do you think, George? Yeah, I can't see much changing. To be honest, with what we've got, what can he change? Yeah. Can't be drastic changes anyway. There might be one or two, but there won't be any, wholesale changes, I don't think. Hartley had a 30% win rate at Wheelstone. Sheesh. Honestly, I think that's not bad for Wheelstone. Winning 1 in 3 games, especially when most of it's been in this division. It's a hard league. We struggled to get out of it. And they were coming up against the likes of us, Wrexham. They're still coming up against Chesterfield, Stockport when we were in there. You're looking at almost guaranteeing sort of like 12 losses across 3 seasons by some of the games that they've played. Rawson says it's like Christmas for Tom. He's so excited. That's kind of adding an edge to it. And it is with ice cream as well, which is the correct answer if we ever do that. It's adding a right. It's really, I've had a great evening. Was it homemade, the apple crumble? Of course not. I've been at work. Oh, it takes 10 minutes to make an apple crumble. What's up with you? I don't have that time. I'm not hearing it. And I've had a fantastic dinner, and I've come on here to chat Stockport, and we've got a new manager, and I'm having an apple crumble. There we go. See, Brooks went out on loan today to Rochdale as well. Yeah.
Good move, that is, I think.
Yeah, it is. Although the pictures to me don't even look like Brooks. So
They do. He's just aged a little bit. He's,
in about three weeks since I saw him.
He's growing his facial hair.
Yeah. So yeah, Brooks has gone. It'd be interesting. The one position that's sort of not necessarily up for grabs, well, is up for grabs massively, is the goalkeeping spot, because he can come in and do what he wants with the goalkeeper. And just as I've said that, Lucas has put, I'd start Hammond Saturday. Don't know. What would you do?
If I was Stuart Maynard, what would I do? Probably put myself in goal.
No, you wouldn't. Stop being silly.
I don't know. It's difficult. It is difficult. Actually, Hammond, you see some good saves from him, but like a few of us said, I remember him coming to Meadow Lane and he wasn't the best. And you're hearing some not so good things about him from fans of the club. Who was he at loan at? Was it
Crawley.
Yeah, you're not hearing good things from Crawley, so it doesn't fill you with confidence.
No, it doesn't.
So who knows? I think the loan move there for Brooks lines us up nicely for him to be a starter next season, hopefully.
It does. It does.
We'll see. If I had to choose, I'd probably just choose Stones.
Yeah, probably. Lots of things about long deals here and 3.5-year deals and things like that for him. Going back to Maynard, because that's the main topic, obviously. I think a 3.5-year deal shows that we're confident in him. That's a long time to give someone we're not confident in. I think it should give confidence to fans as well. Mm. Like you'd be concerned, wouldn't you, if they're giving him? This wouldn't have happened if they're giving him one till the end of the season, 6-month contract, or they're giving him one for a year and a half. I don't even think 1.5 would have been a sign of a signal of intent. Do you think? Because we've had our hearts broken by Ian Birchnell, who was here for a project, and Luke Williams, that was here for a project. They've already managed or been involved in Football League setups. Do you think him coming in from the lower league makes any difference to treating us as a stepping stone or showing us more loyalty than we've had? I mean, Birchnell, there was no loyalty there. Williams, I understand why he left. I do understand why he left. But do you think there's anything there that we could? Harry Kewell had 3-year deal, yeah, but our owner was also not our owners now. That's all I'll say. No loyalty in football, says Ian.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I think it would take a promotion for Maynard to. We're talking massively in the future now. It's in hindsight, isn't it? But we're talking a promotion for the manager to sort of get a move to the league above. And if it is the league above and we've got that promotion, we'll be in League One. So it'll be a championship move again. So probably, I'm going to be honest, probably, yeah. I mean, if the manager does well, we're going to see it. I think we're going to see it.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. Will says, sadly, we'll be treated as stepping stone until we climb the leagues. Brighton and the Prem still get used as stepping stone. They do, Will, but I'm also wanting a reaction video from you. Put in the chat if you would like Will's reaction in a video, which we are getting a reaction from.
Brighton's scouting system is literally probably one of the best scouting systems in the world. Some of the players that they've picked out over the years just ridiculous.
Yeah, but have they bought a player in for 50 grand and they're doing like 100 times his value? He's going for 5 mil if he scores 40 goals.
Could do. Which is I don't know about 5 mil is a lot.
No, they wouldn't be going for 5 mil. They'd be going for at least two. But yeah, Will, I know you're enjoying watching us, mate, but we want your reaction to post on the channel after this because a lot of people some people respect your opinion. So I think we would. If one person puts in the chat that they want Will's reaction, we'll do it. We'll get his reaction. So please, someone put that in. Right, Stockport then. How much does this change your outlook on the game, having a new manager in place? For me, I'm a massive believer in new manager bounce. Doesn't always work, but I'd say you get one 80% of the time.
I don't think we've had one. Have we?
Birchnell, we battered Hornchurch. We took Hornchurch to penalties. You can't call me that's not a new manager bounce.
What's the opposite to bouncing?
It was almost the club. I'm surprised the club didn't shut down.
It's a dark day in the club's history, if we're going to be straight.
That was the worst manager
Will
bounce
should have
ever.
his own channel. Will does have his own channel.
Does he?
No, he doesn't really, no.
Why not?
We could probably set one up for him.
We could set one up for him. But does it change your outlook on the Stockport game?
Yeah, obviously. Focus sort of goes on to everything that Maynard does now, doesn't it?
Yeah. How, if you're a Stockport fan, are you feeling now?
You're probably feeling a lot more apprehensive than you would have been an hour ago.
I agree. I think it's almost not a guaranteed win if we hadn't have got the manager in, but you'd be pretty confident after seeing us ship 5 to Grimsby, wouldn't you? Definitely. Joe says, as long as we don't get battered, it's fine. This could come back to haunt us, but I don't see us getting battered, personally. I can't see that.
I don't know. I think they're so unpredictable at the minute. We could.
But players are going to be playing for him. They're playing for places now.
See, won't we?
And all of a sudden, if he comes in and goes 4 at the back, you've got all those defenders thinking, oh, no, one of the positions is shortened down.
Yeah.
And if we go 4 at the back, all of a sudden, you've got, I don't know. Naturally, if you talk to people about football that don't know football, they would say, 5 at the back is obviously more defensive than 4 at the back. But it's not. It's not. 4 at the back is, for me, probably with the way we play, is more of a solid formation. Big question. Oof. George, what do you reckon? Is that the end of the short corners?
Could be. Who knows?
I hope not. No, actually, I'm not that.
Technically speaking, the last short corner we played under Luke Williams is technically still in play. It's still a corner.
It's been passed to Swansea.
It's still a corner.
Who would you put if it was 4 at the back then? Macari and Baldwin centre backs, Cameron left back, Toby right back.
Yeah, you read my mind, Thomas.
I mean, it's very unbalanced. You've got centre backs at left backs, but Adam Chickson's nowhere to be seen. I don't know. 4 at the back, Cameron left back, Tar right back. Someone's put Cammy, Baldwin, Macari, and Toby, exactly the same as us. Yeah, Nick says a lot of time 5 at the back, so you're right. Yeah, it can be very, very attacking. This is a hypothetical situation now, George, but it's an interesting point to make because it kind of talks about the club as a whole.
Yeah.
If we had have got Neil Warnock, disaster or not?
You can't say that. He's a club legend. You can't say disaster.
He'd have undone everything we've worked for 4 years.
Yeah, I get it. I do get that. I get why you think that, and I do, to some degree, I agree. But then there is part of me that thinks, do you know, if you were struggling to get a manager in, surely it's less harm to have someone in like that. I feel like someone like him would really, really unify the squad, and they're obviously a good bunch anyway, but that's what Warnock does, isn't it? It's not always about ability with him. It's about togetherness and determination.
I think for 6 months, I think we'll be in an okay place. But I think
who was the 2 players that Warnock always brought with him? Jagielka and...
was it?
Yeah. Well, he loved Jagielka, didn't he?
I don't know.
We'd have bought Jagielka and Paddy Kenny out of retirement.
Yeah, Paddy Kenny. Yeah, I think for those 6 months, it would have been like, okay. And then I think in the summer, that have been, when we lose players, it would have been difficult. Yeah. Jones filled up the pitch and defence more solid. Sounds good. Wonder what Robertson is thinking. Had 1 week of Luke, 1 week of Jim. Now Maynard in his first month.
His head's spinning.
His head is spinning.
His head is spinning.
Absolutely gutted. So very, very interesting. I think we've got the right man. I think from what was available, we don't know everyone that was available. But of the people that was on that short list, we said on Sunday we weren't sold on him. I was more sold because I thought if he had been favourite for that long, it wasn't going to happen. Because I don't think he ever left top of the bookies apart from that Danish guy coming in for like a day. But there we go. There we go. Jeff, my fear is that he's not a big enough name to attract new signings. Hope I'm wrong. I'll just go back to that point of getting Maka when we didn't have a manager. And I don't know if that was because we were a massive team in non-league at that point, whereas now we're not that massive pull, are we? But I'm not 100% sure. Big numbers in tonight. This will be going on Spotify if you want to listen back or you want to send it to anyone. If you're not already subscribed, please do. It helps out massively. We will have a match day vlog for the game on Saturday. It'll be the next episode of It's All Black and White. It'll be the first one with Stuart Maynard as manager. So it will be very, very interesting. George, let's have a think to our prediction for Saturday before we finish them. What do you think?
I said 3-3 last night on the Stockport podcast.
I was going to say 3-3 tonight.
I'm changing it. I'm going 2-1 knots. Maynard run down the line and celebrate in front of the cop. Late winner.
Do you think?
Yeah.
You're going 2-1.
2-1.
I'm going to say 3-1 knots. I'm going to be really brave. Let's say 3-1 knots. Because if Russ was still here and Knots hadn't appointed Maynard, I'd be saying 3-3. 100% be saying 3-3. But I'm going for a new manager bounce. Because we played pretty well at Stockport without creating too much. I think we can get some goals at home. We've got a 3-1 knots. We've got a 6-1 knots. We've got a 2-1 knots, a 1-1, a 3-1, a 4-2. We've got a 2-2, a 3-2, 2-2 there. We've got 3-0. Oh, Dave. 3-0. Come on. We've got 2-1. We've got Door. Forest fans saying 1-1. It's not bad if Forest fans saying we get a draw. 3-0 new manager bounce starts with a clean sheet. Could you imagine that? George, if he gets the defense right, well, and it's a big if because we are shipping goals like it's like, what's the saying? Going out of fashion. If he gets the defense right, we could really be on something.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And you know what? I've been thinking today. I've fallen victim to this, blaming the defense all the time. What about the midfield?
Well, I kind of spoke about it, saying that in the Grimsby game there was no protection.
Exactly.
Personnel or was it tactics?
I don't know. It was a bit of a mad game, wasn't it? It's hard to judge that game.
It was crazy.
Love to get Maynard on. Tom, I know you were saying about getting some wine gums in, Maynard wine gums in at the.
I've got proof in the chat that you put the worst joke ever, saying if it's him, and then you put a picture of Maynard wine gums. So do not bring that on to me.
That was you.
Do not bring that to me.
No,
you said they could be the shape of Stuart Maynard's face. So let's not be silly about this.
This is awful.
Absolutely
I'm being framed for a crime.
Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not having that mucking me about. So we're not having it. But there we go. All positives. I think we've got to be positive. We've got the man that was top of the owners list by the sounds of it, from what I've heard. He's got great reviews from Wheelstone fans. I think it's a time to be positive. I said it on the last few podcasts with Ashby Hammond. You can have your opinions, but you can't write anyone off till you've seen what they can do. Look, Williams. I remember being abroad, and we drew 1-1 with Gateshead, and people calling for Williams, saying not calling for him to be sacked, but saying the style of football was poor. I think we drew with Boreham Wood as well, didn't we? And saying this is awful, lost to Dorking, and then look what happened. You end up a few months later with the best unbeaten one in the club's history. You can't judge him on the first 5 or 6 games with our fixtures, can you?
No, you can't. No, well, yeah, what an awful time to come in. We've not really talked about that, have we? Very, very, very difficult run of games. Very difficult.
Yeah, you're looking at our list and saying the most winnable fixture is Barrow at home, who are like third. And beat us at their place, drew us at their place, but beat us all over the pitch, really. So, yeah, I don't think you can judge him really until March, April, at the earliest. Mansfield, Barrow, Stockport, Wrexham, got away to Newport on a Tuesday night, not that easy. Gillingham, who are doing okay now. Adam says, agree, be positive, looking forward to Saturday even more now. If you haven't got tickets, get yourself down to Meadow Lane if you haven't got tickets, because, you know, show new manager some support. We're playing top of the league. We're on not the best run of form, but it could all change now. So a very, very different Pavis perspective to what we'd expected to do this evening. As we press to go live, you might have seen we were a bit thrown off. If you are going to the game, enjoy it. Get behind Stuart Maynard. It's like people put in the chat, Stuart Maynard's Black and White Army. Good to see some optimism in that chat for me in there. But there we go. Thank you as always. Please do subscribe if you're new to the channel. It would help us out massively. And as always, comment anything you think of after the video.